Hey everybody, super excited to start making this exploding box with you. So let's start with the base. Now this is the cut file. I did not use perforated lines, so you're gonna have to score along each of the edges, just like that, and along the middle of each of the hearts on all four corners, so that it just folds up really nicely into a little box there. So the other part of this cut file is all of the decorative pieces that you're going to use. So just use whatever patterned paper that you want to do the front and the back. So that's our exploding box base, and now let's move on to layer 1. So layer 1 is a little bit trickier. It's mostly just some cuts and some perforated lines, because what we're going to be doing is folding them over and making little pockets. So it also, just like the base, the cut file comes with all of the decorative pieces that you need to decorate the front and the back of the flaps, because when you fold them over, you will be seeing the other side there. So on top of that, I've also included little journaling cards that you can add photos to or pictures, but they just slide right into those little pockets there. Okay, so now we're going to move right into layer 2, and this one's super simple. It's just got some decorative scalloped edges there, and of course, space for all of your beautiful patterned papers. The last part of this cut file is the exploding box top, and it just folds together pretty easily there. And again, cut all your pattern papers out to decorate it any way you'd like. Okay, so now you have everything cut out. Let's start gluing. I use the rubber cement because I can really get a good stick on everything, and I don't have to worry about where it's going, if it's too much, because when it's dry, it's super easy to just wipe off. So I use this and I kind of turn my page into the glue to make sure it's fully coated, and that way the edges don't start peeling up. I mean, this gets a lot of use. There's going to be a lot of people touching it. So I just want to really make sure that every single edge is completely stuck down as well as it possibly can be. So I promise I won't make you watch me glue everything down here, but once you get this side finished, you're just going to go ahead and flip it over and do the other side. So I don't typically use the hearts on the back, but you definitely can if that's something that you want to do. Okay, so now we're going to assemble these little pockets. So for these, I typically like to use a strong tape. It's super easy. I don't have to worry about liquid glue getting all over the place and keeping my pocket shut. And this is really going to stand strong against the test of time. And again, people are going to be touching this box a lot. So I just want to make sure those pockets don't rip open. But you can definitely use whatever kind of adhesive you have on hand. Just apply a little to that flap and then go ahead and fold it over and adhere it to the other side of your pocket. So you're going to want to go ahead and do this to all 4 of your pockets. Really make sure that that flap is definitely adhered so you have a little pocket to put your journaling card in. Once all of your pockets are formed, now you're ready to start putting on all of your beautiful papers and just go ahead and adhere them just like we did with the base on both sides. So you're also going to want to glue your journaling cards together as well, and this is what it looks like when it's completed. Moving on, this layer is super easy. Just do the same thing you've done on the last 2. Now we're going to do the top. So same thing applies. You're just going to put your pattern paper on. And working with the rubber cement, I go through and I brush every layer off meticulously because there's always excess glue. And just use a little rag and go ahead and get any of that grime off. But I love it because it doesn't make my layers stick together. It's not super sticky when it dries, and I can easily remove it. So once I get all of that excess glue off, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the top. And again, I use that super strong tape, but you can just use whatever you have on hand. And you just put some adhesive on the flap and then glue it down to the flap next to it. So once you do that to all 4 flaps, the top of your box is formed, and you can put it all together like so. And it's a cute little box. So obviously our layers aren't glued down yet, but I really wanted to add something special to this box before I completed it. So I made a shaker layer, and I used layer 2 as a template just to add some beautiful sequins to this fun little box. So how I used it as a template was the die cut that I had made. I just outlined it. I taped it down over my page protector, made sure I cut my pictures to the right size so I could fuse on either edge. And my fuse isn't on, by the way, but I just wanted to show you kind of my process. So I used a ruler and I just went along each edge, leaving all 4 of the scalloped edges open. So then I could slide my picture right in and fuse underneath it, leaving the perfect space for those gorgeous Spiegel Mom scraps sequins. Then I just closed it off on each side, and I journaled kind of upside down so when it flipped over you could read it, but how you do it is up to you. I just think the final product is so cute and fun with all those little sequins running around in there. It gives it a little extra to the box. So we're just going to add that right on top here. So let's go ahead and put it all together. This part's super easy. Now, as you can see, I put the decorative piece there even though it's not necessary. It gets completely covered up, but it does add strength to the box. That's completely up to you if you want to add that or not. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue here and go all over the middle of the bottom of that layer and go ahead and adhere it to my base. Now you want to be careful that you don't get any excess glue underneath those flaps. You want those to move freely. So I just lift everyone up and make sure there's no glue peeking out there that would inhibit it from moving exactly how you want it to. Okay, so from here, you're just going to do that with your next layer. So if you're not adding a shaker layer, your box is pretty much complete. You just need to embellish it. But I'm going to go ahead and add my shaker layer. I'm going to use that tape again because I just don't trust that the page protector, the plastic, will adhere to paper with liquid glue. So once I get it down here, you can see how strong the tape really is. It's not going anywhere. Now, I didn't really like the look that it was kind of see-through and so you could see the tape. So I went ahead and added another piece of patterned paper over the top of that. So once all your layers are in place, it's time to go ahead and add pictures, embellishments, whatever you choose to do. I really hope that this tutorial was easy for you to follow and you enjoyed it. And I hope to see your exploding boxes. Thanks so much for watching.